Hey everybody, Patty Ann here. Hey, this past week I've had some of the Digi-Chicks stay at my house for a week of crafting. We had a blast. One of the things we did was etching. I tried etching before and I wasn't very successful, but Joan taught me some tips, and today I learned some new tips for myself because I couldn't remember exactly what she did. So join me. Let's get started right away. Okay, as you'll notice, first I'm just showing you a tool that Tammy talked me into getting when I was at the dollar store, and I highly recommend that you get one too. It's really good for weeding. So here I am, I'm weeding the very first one that I tried, and it turned out beautifully. The weeding went really well. But the problem is I used Cricut Permanent, and I thought that's what Joan had used to keep it really stuck to the glass. Well, I hate to tell you this, but when I was done and tried to get that son of a biscuit, as my dad would say, off the glass, it stuck like, I don't know what, like Gorilla Glue. I just could not get it off. Eventually I did, but boy, it was quite a workout. So don't use Cricut Permanent vinyl. Okay, this is the product that I started using when I began my foray into etching. It comes with this DVD, it comes with the transfer tape that you need, it comes with the vinyl that you can use, which I'll tell you about in a few minutes. Also comes with a scraper and another weeding tool, and obviously the etching cream as well. So here I am, I'm using the transfer paper from that kit, but I'm still using that permanent vinyl because I haven't discovered the mess up number one yet. So you just put it on there, place it in the center first, as we always do with vinyl. You do not need to mirror this since it's going on the outside of the glass. Just make sure that you have a nice adherence and that there are no bubbles or wrinkles. Okay. And I'm not sure if I do it here, but it's a lot easier to take it off if you turn it the other way, upside down. But I got it off okay. And next I'm going to apply it to the glass. However, I forgot a step here, so I'm going to go run and grab my alcohol because I want to make sure that there's no fingerprints or smudges or anything like that on the glass before I try to adhere my stencil. I'm using 91% alcohol here, but I don't think that really matters. I think you can use anything that you get from the drugstore. Just make sure you clean really well where you're going to be putting your stencil, and wait for it to dry, obviously, before you try to apply your stencil. Sometimes I get to going and I have a hard time waiting for things. So do let your alcohol dry before you put your stencil on. Okay, I'm placing my glass onto a fabric that I actually wove just to keep it steady so that it's easier to place on my stencil. So I'm kind of eyeballing it up, looking at the stencil and not the transfer paper because I have it on there a little bit crooked. So once again, I'll start from the center and work my way out and use the squeegee to make sure there aren't any wrinkles or bubbles. It's most important that there aren't any wrinkles or bubbles near the text or the designs that you have. If they happen to be outside way on the edge of the vinyl, that shouldn't make a difference. However, be very careful that there are no bubbles and no wrinkles right around your letter and your image. So I'm just taking off the transfer paper, and I'll be able to use that many times, so I'm not just going to ball it up and throw it away. Put it back on the paper it came off of. And now I'm just double checking to make sure that there aren't any areas where there are bubbles or wrinkles. And I'm going to begin the process of putting on the etching cream, or I think it's called Armor or Armor All, Armor maybe. I don't know, I could double check, I could Google it. But that's an etching cream that a lot of people buy if they don't want to get this kit that I have. And that's actually what we used when Joan taught us how to etch. So once again, I'm just still checking. Now I should put on my gloves, but I don't have them available right here. I will put them on later, as you'll see. Oh, there we go. Very quickly. All right, so what I've done now was I already did the black one, which was the permanent vinyl. And as I said, it was horrible. I could hardly get the vinyl off the glass. So this time what I've done is I used the vinyl that came in the kit, the etching kit. And what I don't like about this vinyl is it's clear. So it's really hard to see what you're doing. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I had like a glass that had some kind of a color to it, but a clear glass and a clear stencil, it just was hard to weed. It was hard to see where I was putting the etching cream. I'm just not a big fan of this. But I'll continue on because I really didn't realize it was going to be such a problem until I went along. So you'll see that this is my trial number 2. And it's going to come out okay. But there are a few mess ups that you'll see. Again, my biggest complaint is I don't like this clear vinyl for my stencil. So while I am putting on the etching cream though, notice I'm using a popsicle stick. You can also use a brush or maybe even a foam brush. Just be sure that you rub it around a little bit everywhere the stencil is cut. Just don't push pressure on because you might force the etching cream up under the vinyl and you won't have sharp clear letters or sharp clear designs. So I'm just lightly rubbing it around and around and around, trying to make sure I'm getting all the places, even though it's really hard to see them because it's clear. When I finish with this part, I'm going to let it set for about 5 minutes, maybe a little longer. I didn't really read the directions on this, but do follow the directions that are on your bottle of etching cream. And then when you're done waiting, you can go ahead and take a popsicle stick, or if you're using a paintbrush, and you can scrape off what's on top of your stencil and put it back in the bottle. It's no waste. So this etching cream lasts forever and ever. I mean, it lasts for a long time. I don't know about ever and ever, but you get the idea. Because I'm not just going to wash that down the sink when I go to the sink to wash off the final bit of etching cream. So again, I'm just taking my time, mushing that around very gently so as not to push it under the stencil. And I'm making sure that I don't go past the box that I had around the stencil. Another thing that I could have done if I was worried about it getting outside of the box, I could have used some painter's tape to make the box a little bit larger to cover the glass, because anywhere where that etching cream goes, it's going to etch. So right now I'm just taking it off, as I said, and putting it back in the bottle. It's really a peaceful project. You know, I saw a fellow on Etsy who's selling these things, or has been, like crazy. So I don't know if you're the kind of person that likes to try to make some money, but I could imagine, especially if you lived in a town where a lot of vacationers come, what a cool thing to do would be to put maybe, well, I've seen this done too, the longitude and latitude of the location and then the name of it. So for example, if I wanted to say Smoky Mountains, I could do a Google search of the longitude and latitude of the Smoky Mountains and then put that on my mug or my wine tumbler, my rocks glass, whatever, and then put the name Smoky Mountains. And that would be a super souvenir that people might like to get. Can do it on wine glasses, all plates, all kinds of different things. All right, so here you'll see me weeding one more time. This time I'm using Cricut removable vinyl. And I'll tell you what, this stuff was a dream to work with, and it worked perfectly. So my trial number 3 was the winner. So again, do not use Cricut permanent vinyl. I do not like on clear glass to use the stuff that came in the Silhouette etching kit, but I did really like using the Cricut removable. Notice I'm peeling that back off and putting it back on because I didn't like the way it adhered. I had some bubbles that were too close to the letters or to the wreath design. Just use your squeegee now and just squeegee it in there. And this time I will turn it upside down, I believe, to take it off more easily, because I heard y'all screaming before. Turn it upside down. Alright, so again, I'll put this here, clean off with my alcohol the rocks glass. Again, I'm using 91% alcohol, but I don't believe you have to use that. I just have it. Okay, I'm going to put my vinyl, my template or my stencil on there. One thing I did not like what I did was I placed it a little higher than what I would have liked, I think. When I finally looked at my number 3 sample, I really wish I had placed it about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, maybe between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch lower. But now I know that these were just my samples. So now if I'm going to make these for wedding presents for a party, I might move it down, and then again, I might, instead of putting the name Rice under there, put the wedding date. I think that would be a really nice wedding gift. And again, I could be doing this on wine glasses. So I'm really lifting up and making sure there's no bubbles and no folds. This is a very crucial part, so you'll notice I'm taking my time here, really eyeballing it and checking everything. And by the way, the wreath that I've used, I'll have that linked for you down below the video. It's one that I got from Creative Fabrica. The font that I'm using is just Times New Roman, which you probably have on your computer. Just peel that tape off. And again, I can save that transfer tape. Since I have extra at the top, I'm folding it under, which is a good idea actually, to keep the rim of the glass from getting any etching cream. Okay, on go the safety gloves. You should probably also be wearing safety goggles. I wear glasses, so I think my eyes are protected. Although my glasses would probably get etched if I splashed some on them. Alright, here we go. I'm going to stir it up first. Stir it up. Stir it up. And I start at the center. I just like to start at the center. And again, just go around and around gently with my stick. And notice how much easier it is for me to see where I have to place the etching cream, since it's black and not clear. So overall, like I said, this Cricut vinyl, or any removable vinyl probably, is the winner over the stuff that came in the kit and permanent vinyl. Permanent vinyl is a nightmare. So when I'm done here, I'll take this to the sink. I use a foam brush, although you could just use your gloved hand or any kind of a brush or a rag that you won't be using again. And I take it to the sink and I rinse it off thoroughly. But until then, I usually keep spreading this around and leaving this for about 5 minutes before I go and wash it. Okay, it's been washed. As you can see, there's the foam brush that I used with the water, running water in the sink. And I I'm going to get rid of this before I make a mess and get it on the glass where I don't want it to be. Very carefully, put the lid back on, move it out of the way. Take off my gloves in case there's any etching cream on them that I don't want to get on my glass. I'm going to fold that piece of parchment paper in half because I know there's etching cream left on it. And just dry off the rocks glass. And this is the beauty. I was so excited because this just peels basically right off like that, other than a few internal pieces that I have to get. It was nothing like this with the other vinyls. So I'm labeling this one number 3, so I remember this is my third and final one that I've done, and actually the best one that I like the best. So this just kind of shows you a little bit. You're not able to see it very well, but they turned out really super cute. So I'll have a link down below for you for the etching cream that you use if you'd like to see, and also the kit in case you want to get the kit. Again, I recommend you use your own vinyl if you're doing it on clear glasses. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you is a few things I just got at the Dollar Tree. I wanted to try these candles to see if they would etch and if you could see the color behind them, but unfortunately they didn't, so all I was able to do was to put vinyl on it. So I'm assuming any of those candles that I bought hoping to be able to etch here. This one really smells good. Really smells good, but I guess these won't work either. I'll try it just to make sure. However, I did get a bunch of stuff that will work. For example, this, hopefully you can see it, the tile. I used a floral alphabet, and what these are is in the candle area. I guess you could put a candle on top of them, but I thought maybe a cute little arrangement around it or something like that. They turn out really, really cute. Okay, so that's going to work just fine. And then I got this container glass. The top is not, it's plastic, but the glass has nice flat sides and it'll work perfectly. This one I thought was super cute because it stays on an angle like this, so you could put something on the side of it like that, from if you have treats or something in here maybe. Okay, this one is just a square one that has nice flat sides. This one I wanted to try because it's sort of a smoky color, and I wanted to see if it looked any different when you etch on it. This one I thought would be cool for like oil or vinegar or whatever else you might have. Just think it's a cute little container. Has a cork. Another candle that I'm pretty sure won't work. This is a nice glass, a rocks glass, and what I really like about this glass, it's really heavy, but it has nice flat sides, so it'll be easy to etch onto it. Another colorful one, I was hoping that it would work, but I'm thinking it's not going to. And then lastly, I got a wine glass to try on. And also, when I do this one, I'll show you how to use the curving tool or the warp tool in Silhouette. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And use my links down below if you're purchasing something. I really appreciate it. So see you again soon. Bye-bye.